the very first movie that pops into my head is LA Confidential. There's so many iconic locations, and when I drive up and down Sunset or around West Hollywood and Hollywood, I see that movie, you know, and that gives me shivers. I love that stuff. That's one of the things I love about Los Angeles, and this happens every time I have a friend come out who hasn't been to LA. I give the tour like they paid me $1 million to give it, and I'm so excited. I love driving up and down Sunset Boulevard and talking about the Sunset Grill. I like talking about All-American Burger, which is now a Chipotle. I love pointing out all the different locations up and down Sunset and the Formosa Cafe to whatever, and how exciting the history of this town is. And I remember the first time I drove up Sunset Boulevard and seeing, before even getting to Sunset, being on the 405 and seeing the sign for Beverly Hills, and then thinking like Beverly Hills Cop, and you know, all the different films that have been filmed in and around from that 405 all the way across to the Hollywood sign. You know, it's invigorating, and we need more of it. We need to bring it all back, because it's like, I know they just passed the new tax incentives and whatnot and elevated that budget. But this town is full of amazing locations and people, which is the bigger part of it. I think, unfortunately, Los Angeles gets this, or Hollywood has this weird negative impersonation or impression. And yet I live in this town and I meet amazing people every day. So, and in the industry, people in the industry. And that's another aspect of this that is forgotten. It's not just, you know, going out and making movies in other places. The world is getting smaller, and that's great. But this town still has so much to offer, and the people here are incredible. And that, to me, seems like a missed opportunity to revisit. Yeah, I mean, that's part of, like, when you think about the industry, it's something that we take and hold very dear with the ISA, is building your people, like your tribe, your group, you know, finding your community. And by the community feeling like it could be splitting off into other areas, all that collaborative experience, all those moments you have at dinner parties or at the coffee house or whatever, just hiking through Runyon, bumping into people, some of that starts to disappear. And having a little tighter net community has been great for Hollywood. It inspires. This is why the ISA runs a lot of events to try to bring people out, to network, to connect. And it's not even always about the business side of it, right? It's about the establishing the friendships, because that's where real collaboration comes from. It's inspired from that. When people get comfortable and they start to share what they're experiencing, someone else will be honest and share back, like, oh my God, I'm having that same kind of situation with my children and their teachers, or something like that's happening with me or my spouse and their employer, or whatever. There's just, when you start to sit down and talk to people and build community and relationships, and even at our events, get to become friends with people, you realize your common interests and, you know, understand the things you want to say, like going back to the idea of voice. You recognize in other people, like, they have a similar spirit that I do, and they want to talk about movies, and they also have this part of them that wants to tell ghost stories, or they love historical pieces. They love the old frontier, you know, or they love the idea of going into space and AI and all this stuff. So as you get to chatting with people, you recognize the commonalities. You recognize, like, how great they might be as a writing partner, as a director, as someone who might be able to help you produce. They might be an actor and have some inspiration there. Because I think, as Jack Nicholson always says, you know why I'm a great actor is because I'm a great writer, you know? And there are so many incredibly talented actors who are also creators. They're writers. They have to dig into the essence of story from the inside out and then put it out. But if that stuff could be very collaborative in developing a character, it could be very collaborative in finding a new partner to write with. We have some friends that we met at Cannes a couple of years ago who, one was an actor. They were both actors, but they both had different kind of stories. And the more they got to chatting, the more they realized, oh, we should be writing something together. And as they did, they ended up shooting an independent film together last year that is now, they were shopping at Cannes. So if they didn't start talking, if they didn't go to events, if they didn't, the word networking sucks because I think it scares people away, but it's not. It's like they established a friendship. Go into every situation, come out to the ISA events, go to the local coffee house in like where I live, anywhere between Hollywood and Sherman Oaks and near Universal to wherever, and you're going to meet somebody in the industry. And if you start talking to them about the business, and then you start to not dive right into the business, it's going to be like you repel them. But if you just become friends, you'll realize everybody in this town is the business or is in the business in some way, and they could be your next collaborator on a project that you needed some additional inspiration to develop in the first place. So this town, bringing it back, that aspect of it to me is a critical part of like how we get to even more beautiful storytelling. Spreading it out all over the globe there's parts of that are important because the world is getting smaller and we need more stories, from all different aspects, from all different communities and all different places around the world who have experienced trauma in different types of ways. And we can bridge the gap communication, which is all beautiful. But it's also nice to have a community of people in your own backyard that are inspired as well and share those stories and then develop them.